Hello, welcome to the weather update. It is almost 10 o'clock on May the 10th, 2023. Smoky day out there, and a little warmer today, obviously. You might hear a bunch of fans going because it's hot in here, and I should have put the air conditioner on. We got, it was 80 degrees when I walked in here, almost 80 anyway. But anyway, this is what the sky looked like towards sunset tonight. It just very hazy sky today. There was some blue. It got worse toward the evening. That's what it looked like a little earlier. Still hazy. This is Argyle Lake. Still hazy, but not as bad as it was as we got toward the evening. It looked like that. So, yeah, this was over at Twin Lakes. You could see this is after it went down. You could see just look at all the smoke in the air. It's just unbelievable amount of smoke in the air. But anyway, let's go look at the satellite, and you'll see again. This is all from the wildfires in Canada. This is our satellite. We have the satellite loop. Look at how thick it got toward the evening there. Really, it's mostly at the not at the surface. It's at higher levels in the atmosphere. You can see just creating a lot of haze in the atmosphere. Unfortunately, making things very, very hazy out there. The sky very hazy, and if we go and we take a look, pull this out a little bit to the Canadian view so you can get an idea of what we have going on with Canada right now. Let's do our satellite loop here. I'll make this a 48 frame satellite loop so you can see the connection here, and you can see there's the fires, there's the smoke, and it's coming all the way down here. It's still dealing with it, unfortunately, today. Otherwise, it would have been a nice clear day because there weren't any clouds around other than this wildfire smoke. We'll look at the MODIS satellite now, and you'll see here again, there's the smoke. Shows up very well here. You can see, and actually, it looked like there was a denser piece that went over Maryland and Washington, and then there's another piece over here. So we got a lot of this smoke around, and it looks like it's generating a little less smoke. They've had a little moist weather. They've been able to get these fires somewhat under control compared to the way they were. But you still see we got more smoke heading our way. It looks like for tomorrow is another finger of it right here. We're gonna get to that right now. Actually, it's the first thing we're gonna look at are the models for the smoke. So we're gonna look at the vertically integrated smoke loop for the WRAP model. And let's see if it moves it on out. It looks like it does try to move it on out toward perhaps later tomorrow into Friday. Perhaps it moves it on out because the flow from Canada is shifting away, and we're getting more of a westerly flow. So it is trying to. It looks like it tries to move it out by. Where's the last frame in this here? Not until after tomorrow night. Perhaps we'll start to move this smoke out of here. Hopefully. But we've got a long summer ahead. We're going to be going through this a lot, I have a feeling. We can also look at the HRRR smoke loop. I'm just curious if it shows up on this loop or it's still not going to show up. Yeah, still doesn't show up on this. That only works it does not work for smoke that comes from Canada, I guess. So looking at the weather map right now, high pressure and control, fair weather. We would have had a nice clear sky if it wasn't for that smoke. But we had a very hazy sky, pretty junky looking out there. And then you can see low pressures in the west here and some severe weather going on. There is some severe weather going on in the east of the Rockies. Now it looks like they've had a tornado watch issued for that area. Slight risk in that general area. We look at tomorrow here, the day 2. We see this become an enhanced risk, northern Texas to Oklahoma. Classic, that's a Kansas, that's Tornado Alley type of situation. In day 3, they're also showing that same area having some issues with the severe weather. For us, looking at the weather map, you'll see we have high pressure and control tomorrow, as well as Friday. And then we get toward the weekend, and we'll have some chances for more unsettled weather. Looking at the radar right now, you'll see here that we have some showers over thunderstorms again over the Missouri and Arkansas, and then this is where the severe weather is actually around Denver, believe it or not. Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, that's where it is. And if we go back to the SPC homepage, let's see, we've actually had 12 reports of tornadoes in this area. So, yeah. This area, Colorado, Kansas. Yeah, look at the Oklahoma. Actually, that's not Oklahoma. That's Kansas. Wyoming even getting in on it. Wow, that's impressive. So anyway, let's go look at our current conditions. And you can see right now we have a tornado watch in effect for this general area that I've been talking about. So Colorado, parts of Wyoming, Nebraska, into Kansas. Severe thunderstorm watch extending into past into Colorado, into New Mexico, to parts of West Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma. Red flag warning in effect for New Mexico. East is pretty quiet, right, except for the smoke. That's our main story right now, is the smoke. So looking around outside, temperatures are in the 50s. However, what is it in my alley? 67 degrees. I have to have the air conditioner on. Yeah, it's hot here. So, yeah, the air outside is 67, so it can't really cool it off in here. Like I said, that alley just traps all the heat. Yeah, using my air quality meter there to take that reading. The air quality isn't bad, but it's definitely warm, to say the least. So islip 55 with a nice sea breeze, and there was a sea breeze that developed toward later in the day, though we did have a northwest wind to start. If you look at the day here, you'll see we started with west to north winds, though it looks like the sea breeze came in fairly early at islip around noon, and they dropped back. They may have only been in the 60s. Wow, we were much warmer than that here in Mineola for sure. Let's look at Farmingdale. See if Farmingdale was any warmer. So it looks like they got up into the near 70s. So yeah, they were a little warm, but still showing a southwest wind. Wow, we were much warmer than that here in Mineola. We had northwest winds as of 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I can tell you that right now. But you can see temperatures generally the 50s, some 60s around the city. Of course, holding in the heat over there. It's pretty much like where I'm living. So let's go look at the high temperatures for the day. And it looks like we got into the only mid-60s for Long Island. Wow, much cooler. Nassau County, we were dealing with low 70s for highs. Actually, Mineola hit 74. So, yeah, much warmer in the middle here of Nassau County. It's hot. It's just another thing that talks about the middle of Nassau County. It's hot here. 74. You know, if you were on the South Shore, you had upper 60s. And if you were out east, you had mid to upper 60s. The city dealing with mid-70s. Let's see how Jersey did. I mean, no different than Jersey, really. We got up to into the mid-70s. Though Toms River itself, 69, so it looks like even they might have had more of a breeze than we did. Other than that, mid-70s. Let's go look at the lows. Let's get the lows here. Wow, Westhampton got down to 30. Wow, well, we didn't get to enjoy any of that here. 43 at Islip, 44 at Farmingdale, and probably 50 degrees for a low in the alley. And let's see, we'll use we'll use the LaGuardia temperature for the alley. How about that? We can load that in there if it'll load now. The lows don't seem to want to load now. You know the way this site is. So 52. So that's all. We'll use 52 because basically the alley and LaGuardia are very similar at this point. And let's see. 39 so they got pretty chilly west. They get cooled down at night in Jersey. You can't even get that here. It's like being in the city. But anyway, now that we looked at that, let's go to the climate report for Islip. Let's do the climate report for Islip here. And tomorrow will be a lot warmer than today too. So observed weather, go to Islip, and we'll see our high was 67. And we're just about normal. But because the low is 42, which is lower than the normal low, we actually ran about 3 degrees below normal for the day. Now, if you look at Central Park, you see there it hit 73, which is pretty much the kind of weather we had here in Mineola. And that's we were still at normal for this time of the year, though. They're at normal because the low is 50, which is actually below normal there. So that's what it looks like over there. Let's go to the Wonderground site and look at Wonderground here. I'm going to turn off this fan. All right. So, yeah, it's cooling off now. I had to put the air conditioner on. But anyway, yeah, I can see looking at the temperatures here. We got mid-50s, so it's fairly even across the island. Again, even in Mineola, it wasn't very warm in Mineola. It was like, felt like about 55, 56 degrees. But in that alley, you add on 10 degrees because you got a space that's literally got brick walls on both sides. It just traps the heat. It's unbelievable. It really is. But anyway, so let's go to the, let's look at Mineola and I'll show you. It was much warmer today versus the South Shore. So looking at Mineola, we'll see 55 degrees, and let's see what they got up to. Well, I don't think it hit 77. I don't think it was that warm. Let's. This site is a little erroneous, I think. That's not the site I normally use. I usually use a different site. I don't think it hit 77 here. That wasn't that warm here. I'll try this site. 75. I still think that's a little warm, but you can see no sea breeze until we get toward. All right, there was one that happened right around 3:45. It looks like you can see the sea breeze did wind up developing, and you see the temperatures dropping and the dew points coming up. That's the sea breeze right there. So it looks like there was a sea breeze. There was a sea breeze here. It did wind up getting here in the afternoon, but of course, if you were on the South Shore in Babylon, living the good life in the deer pen. Well, let's see what they were up to. 57, and yeah, they only got up to 62. Oh man, that's why I wish I was on the South Shore. How much cooler it was there, man. Jeez, what a difference. I feel like we're going to be seeing more of that as we head into tomorrow. So let's go now look at the models, and we'll first start with the upper air. Well, we'll first start with the surface, and then I'll go to the upper air. So, see, high pressure stays over us, but you see it gets into that position where you have a southwest to west flow, so it's going to get even warmer tomorrow and Friday. Then we have a little unsettled weather, a low passing to the south early Saturday. High pressure builds in for Sunday, and that kind of suppresses everything. As we get in the next week, we kind of stay in that suppressed pattern, and we should have, if we don't have any smoke, we should have maybe some sunny weather next week, perhaps. That will come in. And you can see high pressures continuing to come down, which is good. That means that we're not going to have any big heat waves when you see that. All right, so let's go to the North American view and just look at the jet stream here for a moment. So here's your jet stream, and you'll see here as we head into tomorrow, you see that ridge that builds in the east. There's that crazy ridge in Canada that's still there. And you can see as we head into next week, we continue to see ridging in the west going into western Canada there, and troughing in eastern Canada there. So looking at the upper air, you can see there's that big ridge again in the west. You can see it builds. There's a big ridge up in western Canada there, and that generally means it's troughing in the east as we get toward next week. So as far as seeing any crazy warmth in the east, we're not going to see it with this pattern. Going to the CONUS view, we go to the temperature anomaly chart, and temperature anomaly chart. So your temperature anomaly chart here, and you'll see we're above normal tomorrow. Friday, we're above normal. Still above normal Saturday, and then we start slightly above normal Sunday. But then as we get in the next week, you'll see temperatures drop to near normal to even below normal as we get in the next week. So there will be cooler air coming. You can see all that warmth, though, in the west, and up into Canada, too, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia. Could be dealing with some bad wildfires there once again, unfortunately. So let's look at the HRRR model, which we should have all of it in now. So obviously nothing going on as precipitation, bone dry. Generates a couple of showers over New England, maybe a little bit of instability there, maybe. But other than that, we're staying dry right through Friday. Our next threat for rain isn't until, like I said, as we get towards Saturday, and right now it doesn't look that impressive. So let's look at dew points and wind flow, and you'll see here that you have the southwest winds here becoming westerly tomorrow, and that's going to mean tomorrow is going to be a lot warmer. You'll see there will be a sea breeze that will develop in the afternoon, obviously bring its best, its coolest air to the South Shore, which will be the place to be again. And then you see the winds go back to the westerly again, and then Friday, same deal. we have that sea breeze that develops in the afternoon. You'll see dew points low, and then when they get the sea breeze, they do come up a little bit. Obviously, none of that matters to the alley. You know, gotta just use the air conditioner. It's just the way it is here. So anyway, I guess with the pollen being so bad, it's just as well. The pollen is just really bad out there as well. So tomorrow you'll see it'll be a lot warmer. Tomorrow we're going to have temperatures getting up to the mid to upper 70s, maybe 80 degrees in parts of New York City and New Jersey. Then you can see the sea breeze come in and drop temperatures into the 60s on the South Shore. And overnight, it won't cool down that much. And then Friday will be even warmer. Highs probably in the low, possibly mid-80s. In New Jersey, and probably low 80s, New York City. Probably middle of the island's probably going to see low 80s. And then that sea breeze again develops toward the afternoon. You see it a little bit right there. All right. Going beyond that with our temperatures, and as we head into the weekend, you'll see, as we head into Friday, you'll see there's that front that winds up coming through Friday, and you see the cooler air building in from the north on Sunday. And that'll bring us, again, that cooler, drier air builds in. And then for next week, you'll see we'll have that northerly flow. Again, though, we'll have to see. We'll still have to watch for sea breezes developing because you always see that in May, usually. So, actual air temperatures now. We looked at where the air was coming from. You'll see Saturday we cool down, probably due to the chance of showers. Sunday, we're around 70 degrees. And then near normal for next week, you'll see temperatures in the low 70s, which is now, 70 degrees is just about getting to be normal. Temperatures around 70, but we do go below it on a few days. We might be only in the 60s for next week. Skies, obviously we've got the smoke, but as far as actual cloud cover goes, tomorrow probably not going to be fairly sunny as well. It looks like there's some cirrus off to the west, but fairly sunny, though there may be haze. Finally, when that smoke moves out, we'll be dealing with high clouds on Friday, and then we'll be dealing with clouds on Saturday, and maybe Sunday we can clear it out, but again, with that front kind of hanging up to the south, probably going to have to wait until sometime next week to clear this mess on out of here. And maybe by next Wednesday or next Thursday, a whole week away from now, we may actually have some sunny weather. Maybe, if we don't have any smoke, we may actually get some nice skies out of it. That's the general GFS model, though. You know how the resolution is low. So let's go look at the RGM model here. This is tomorrow, and you'll see it's showing some high clouds over New Jersey. We still be dealing with the smoke. And then Friday, we finally get rid of the smoke. But then we may be dealing with some high clouds around. And looks like a little bit of convection right there. Interesting popping up there. Perhaps I'll have to look at the RGM. And then you see Saturday, the system kind of slides off to the south. And Sunday, it's a matter of maybe we can push these clouds far enough to the south. But, of course, the wild card is the smoke. We don't have a model that goes out that far for the smoke, unfortunately. Let's look at, I just want to go to the precip. See if this is the RGM, which is the other precip model we could use. Not showing anything. So it's not really showing much in the way of rain. We stay kind of dry. And you can see that rain kind of just stays to the south. We can look at the NAM 12 as well. It ain't going to go as far out, though. This is the NAM 12. And you can see that area of rain just kind of stays to the south. So dry weather continues. But as far as the smoke goes, that's anyone's guess. It's really hard to predict beyond a day or two what's going to happen with that. But with that, I think that's going to wrap up this weather update. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.